Inside a World Cup stadium in Atlanta, a fan walked up to a food counter, ordered a chicken sandwich, and received a completely blank white bag. No logo, no red lettering, no cows, just a plain white bag with a Chick-fil-A sandwich inside it. He filmed it, posted it to TikTok, and asked his followers, "Want to see one of the funniest brand things ever?" That video got 152,000 views. A second video showing taped-over condiment dispensers at another World Cup venue got 5.8 million views. And Heinz, whose ketchup bottles were the ones under the tape, responded by releasing a brand new product specifically designed to comply with FIFA's rules and became one of the most talked-about brands of the entire tournament without spending a dollar on official sponsorship. McDonald's paid up to $200 million to be the only fast food brand visible inside World Cup stadiums. Chick-fil-A, Heinz, and Levi's paid nothing and generated more buzz than the brands that paid. This is how that happened. According to Jeroen van den Berg, a member of FIFA's communications team, it is standard FIFA policy to host games in a clean stadium, meaning a stadium that is free of branding and advertising that could compete with FIFA sponsors. The logic is straightforward. The main reason for this rule is that the global restaurant sponsor for the World Cup is actually McDonald's, a major market competitor to Chick-fil-A. As McDonald's pays millions of dollars for exclusive advertising rights, the tournament directors protect that investment fiercely. They believe that allowing a rival fast food chain to openly advertise packages inside the building would cheapen the value of the official deal. Official sponsorship spots for the 2026 World Cup cost anywhere from $35 million to over $200 million, depending on the category. For that investment, sponsors receive a guarantee. Their brand, and only their brand in that category, is visible to a global audience for 6 weeks. That guarantee only holds if FIFA enforces the clean stadium rule aggressively. And in 2026, they did. What they could not control was what happened when fans with phones noticed the enforcement and started filming it. TikTok user Mason Powell posted a clip about the food he bought in Atlanta Stadium. He got a Chick-fil-A signature sandwich, but the packaging did not have the brand's logo on it. He claimed that Chick-fil-A is allowed to sell at the World Cup, but is not allowed to show its logo. He opened the box, explaining that everything is the same, but it was just the branding that was seemingly missing. He called it the funniest brand thing ever. That video generated 152,000 views almost immediately, not because Mason Powell is a major creator, but because the image of a blank white bag in a World Cup stadium is inherently, immediately absurd. Nobody needed an explainer. Nobody needed context. The image communicated the entire story by itself. A brand so recognizable that removing its logo from its own packaging made the packaging more interesting than the packaging with the logo on it. The viral footage triggered a massive conversation across social media platforms regarding modern sports sponsorships. And Chick-fil-A had not spent a single dollar to start that conversation. FIFA's enforcement started it for them. The condiment dispenser story is where the numbers get genuinely staggering, and where one brand turned FIFA's enforcement into one of the smartest pieces of reactive marketing of the entire tournament. In a video with over 5.8 million views, TikTok user Dylan Gold shows himself at a FIFA World Cup game. He then shows the condiment dispensers. While they have the shape of Heinz condiment dispensers, all logos have been covered with black tape. He summarizes, they blocked off all the labels for the condiments. No free sponsors at the World Cup. 5.8 million views. From a condiment dispenser with tape on it. But Heinz did not sit quietly and wait for the story to pass. Heinz found a way to turn FIFA's strict sponsor rules into free attention. FIFA taped over condiment bottles at the World Cup to cover non-sponsor logos, so Heinz made its own version of ketchup that fits the rules. For FIFA, it was brand protection. For Heinz, it became a marketing opening. Heinz released a product specifically designed to comply with FIFA's clean stadium policy, using the cover-up itself as the creative foundation of a product launch that cost a fraction of what McDonald's or Coca-Cola paid for official sponsorship and generated more conversation than either of them in the week it dropped. Heinz simply found a way to make everyone notice the one FIFA tried to cover. Are we all just going to pretend it is normal to call SoFi Stadium Los Angeles Stadium? It is in Inglewood. The stadium renaming requirement is the most visible and most geographically absurd application of FIFA's clean stadium policy, and no brand was affected more visibly than Levi's. The brand has turned the removal of its branding from the San Francisco Bay Area stadium into a worldwide marketing campaign. Levi's did not fight the rename. They complied with every FIFA requirement. And then they built social media content around the compliance itself, pointing directly at the covered stadium name, leaning into the absurdity of one of America's most iconic clothing brands being erased from its own building, and reminding the entire world which stadium the World Cup was being played in for the other 46 weeks of the year when FIFA was not in town. A marketing commenter summed it up in 4 words in the video's comments section. Marketer here, Levi's won. In the comments section of the Chick-fil-A video, one TikToker declared that no branding is selling and getting recognized even more. Complete backfire. Companies are using this to their advantage. A new saying has emerged. These companies have been FIFA'd. FIFA'd, a brand new piece of organic internet slang invented entirely in response to FIFA's brand protection strategy, meaning to be made more famous by an attempt to suppress your visibility. Nobody at FIFA's communications team, nobody at any of the official sponsor brands, and nobody in sports marketing plan for the 2026 World Cup to introduce a new verb into the cultural vocabulary. But that is exactly what happened, and the fact that the verb describes FIFA's own enforcement strategy backfiring is the cleanest possible summary of everything that went wrong. Some marketing experts suggest that this aggressive censorship might actually backfire on the tournament organizers. By hiding the famous logos, the event is accidentally generating massive viral curiosity and free publicity for these brands. There is a principle in communications that describes exactly what happened to FIFA at the 2026 World Cup, and it has been documented consistently since 2003. It is called the Streisand effect, when an attempt to draw attention away from something actually draws more attention to it. The principle is simple. The more visibly you try to suppress something, the more interesting that thing becomes to everyone who notices the suppression. A Chick-fil-A bag with a logo on it is just a bag. A Chick-fil-A bag with no logo on it, inside a FIFA World Cup stadium, is a story. A Heinz ketchup bottle is a condiment. A Heinz ketchup bottle with black tape over the label inside a FIFA World Cup stadium is 5.8 million TikTok views and a product launch. I feel like everything getting blocked off is literally giving them more publicity than if it wasn't blocked, said one commenter, and they were not wrong. FIFA's clean stadium policy was designed for a broadcast era where controlling what was visible inside a stadium meant controlling what the audience saw. In 2026, every fan is a broadcaster, and the story they chose to broadcast was the cover-up itself. The Chick-fil-A white bag, the taped Heinz bottles, the Levi's stadium rename, and the word FIFA'd entering the internet's vocabulary are not isolated incidents. They are 4 separate proof points of the same underlying reality, that in the social media era, exclusion from a major event can generate more brand visibility than participation in it, if the exclusion is visible and the audience has phones. Companies like Levi's have successfully turned their hidden stadium names into brilliant global advertising campaigns. Heinz turned a taped ketchup bottle into a product launch. Chick-fil-A became one of the most discussed food brands of the 2026 World Cup without buying a single ad, without requesting coverage, and without doing anything at all, because FIFA did the work for them. One thing I learned this World Cup, FIFA is a nightmare, said one fan. What brands learned is different. What brands learned is that being visibly excluded from something billions of people are watching is not the worst outcome in a world where every fan in the stadium is a content creator. The worst outcome is being invisible, and FIFA, in trying to make these brands invisible, made them impossible to ignore. Attack of the fanboy TikTok. McDonald's paid up to $200 million to be the only fast food brand visible inside World Cup stadiums. Chick-fil-A served chicken sandwiches in blank white bags and generated more social media conversation than McDonald's did in the same venues. Heinz had its ketchup bottles taped over, got 5.8 million TikTok views from a single video, and released a new product. Levi's had its stadium renamed, built a global marketing campaign around the rename, and had marketing professionals calling them the winner of the entire tournament. And the internet invented a new word to describe what FIFA accidentally did to all of them. Drop a comment telling us which brand story from this World Cup surprised you the most, the Chick-fil-A bag, the taped Heinz bottles, or the Levi's campaign. Subscribe and turn on notifications for every major World Cup story and talking point as the tournament moves into the quarterfinals. And share this video with every marketing professional, sports fan, and fast food enthusiast in your life, because the story of how a blank white bag beat a $200 million sponsorship deal is worth every minute.